There we go. What's up, everybody? I hope you enjoyed the little playthrough there. That's, let me put my headphones on properly. That song's called Sky's Limit. It's by Ragdoll. Ragdoll is a band. I'm in that band as well, so who's tuning in? Hey, look at all this. Look at all this. As Michael Torin, who's in the chat, would say, Southern California is very, very well represented. Oh, what is going on? There we go. That's nicer. Much better. What is going on? Yeah, so, hey, everyone wants to know about the tones, right? So, this is what I'm using. And I'm actually, there's some new Boogie Mark V models that have been added in the latest firmware on the axe, so I'll go through a few of those. It's pretty cool. What do we got going on here? Yeah, usual thing with the Mark series, you know. I call this a V shape, but it's not really. It's kind of like a something on a Super Mario Brothers level over there. And what do I have? My free cab, that's in there. There's a lot of high cut going on here. Shout out to friend of the channel, Angus Clark, who's currently on tour with Trans-Siberian Orchestra. If you're in America, go see that show because it's so good. But I'm using quite an extreme high cut in here on his recommendation. I highly recommend it. Bit of multi-band, bit of gold plate reverb, and of course the grease is coming from this block. If you hear this with and without the pitch. That's where it's coming from, and that last pinch harmonic seems to have pushed me quite a bit out of tune. As it should, right? Anyway, where are we at? M50X headphones, correct, Chronic Narnia. Do you use the IR block to apply a corrective EQ curve? I don't know. I mean, look, I much prefer playing through monitors than playing through headphones, but I have just kind of come to live with how the headphones sound. So, you know, it is what it is. What's going on with this? Why aren't you tuning up? We're getting there very, very slowly. Excellent. This guitar was in standard until about 10 minutes ago. There we go. We got a few questions in here, which are pretty cool. So just before that, we have... Look at where people are tuning in from. This is the magic of the internet. We've got DEF CON in Tennessee. We've got Noise Bloom in SoCal. We've got Bob from Montana. We've got some Serious Poo from San Diego. Man, one of my favorite places I've been in America is San Diego. It reminds me so much of Perth. Like, if you want to know what Perth is like, go to San Diego. It's the same thing. We've got Mel in North Carolina. And we've got Jamie in Cuba, which is pretty amazing. Hello, Jamie. I hope you're doing well, mate. And we got Paturio in Argentina. This is killer. Let me know where you're all tuning in from. So, Mario V wants to know, do you really see a big difference playing through the DGT SE and the Core? I can show you guys that the Core's in standard at the moment, and this is dropped down, so there'll be a few little differences. But in terms of like the sound and the overall feel, they're really, really close. The neck on this does feel a bit chunkier than my Core. This guitar actually feels a whole lot like my McCarty. It's like closer to a Core McCarty than a DGT in my opinion, but you know, the controls do the thing on there, and you can get some really nice coil tap stuff, you know, if you want to get your Thai Tabor on. What have I done there? I've done something not so nice with one of these strings. Might have been tuning this the right way. It's too early in the morning here. And that song is not meant to be played in this tuning either. Close enough for rock and roll. There we go. So yeah, look, at a third of the price, it's a pretty amazing value proposition. I do have a video coming in the next couple of days, which is like it's a gear podcast episode. We're talking about the best gear of the year, and spoiler alert, this ranks pretty high for me. So where are we at? What are the delay settings for the World You Gave Us intro? Austin Anderson, I will show you exactly what I use. That, from memory, I think that was an Eventide H9 into, like, in front of an amp for the delays. But what I do for that song now is I have a delay scene, Actually, you can kind of see right here. There we go. It's just a dotted eighth note delay. And you can play around with the overall mix and how strident you want it. Live, I mean, where's... what's the song at? About 140? So that's how it's played. If you wanted to get super, super close to it, what I would do is I would put the vintage digital delay type in front of the amp. So go to the delay block, select vintage digital, or grab my blocks library, and there's probably one in there. We'll set that to a dotted eighth note. We'll set the mix to 50% and like basically no repeats. That's sort of the trick. Hear that? Oh, that's interesting. So there you go. That's what's going on there. It's just a dotted eighth delay synced to the tempo with very, very few repeats, so it doesn't get too kind of muddy. We've got Cesar in Brazil. We've got Psycho Dave in... Now, what's PA? Is PA Pennsylvania? Am I getting that right? Ian is in New Hampshire. Ian, I just shipped your CD this week, so I hope that arrives in good time. We've got, well, San Diego representing, and we've got Kansas. What else do we have in here? We've got some spam over here. How do I... I just won't acknowledge that one. We got BC in Canada. Only play Sabotage when doing demos. Yes, this is the correct way, mate. This is the correct way to go about your life. Oh! Great song. Great band. If you haven't tried the Steven Slate headphones in the VSX software, you should give it a go. It made a huge difference. That's cool to know. Yeah, I mean, I literally don't use headphones that much here, so I haven't played around with it too much. I feel like it's a rabbit hole I have not gone down too far. And Emmanuel is in Denmark. Trevor is in Washington. Another New Hampshire. This is pretty cool. Okay, that's where the CD's going. Awesome, Ian. Thank you so much. If anyone wants to grab Ragdoll stuff, ragdollrock.bandcamp.com. Always be selling is the motto over here. So let me see. Actually, I can probably link that in the video description, can't I? Let's see. Actually, it's probably defaulted. There you go. You can, yeah, it's linked in there. Fantastic. That's what we want. Just doing some housekeeping there. I'm going to play The World You Gave Us, seeing as that came up. Verona Tragedy. Can I do something with the polyverb and the Andy Timmons pedal at the same time? Yes. Not now, because they're not plugged in at the moment. The halo's there and the poly's over here. So I got a few ideas for like some stereo reverb and delay things that I want to do in the new year. Some comparison videos and some... I want to build a big studio board and put all this cool stuff on it. So the Halo will be on there, the Poly will be on there, the 2290 will be on there. It's going to be total overkill if you like stereo delays and stuff. And a big thank you to Trevor. Thank you so much for the support, mate. I appreciate that. And to Javier in Miami. All right, what we're going to do is we're going to play this song. And you know what I'll do? I'll leave Acceted open over here so you can kind of see when the delays come on and off and what they do. There's probably a few. The lead delay thing is this quad parallel delay. Doing the thing, and then the rhythmic delay, it's... Yeah. And what you gave us has this kind of rotary style setting on here from the delay block, which is cool. Alright, I'll play it, I'll shut up, and you can all enjoy that. Ooh, we have some more comments on here, though. Hit the button. 46 watch it. Yeah, hey, Bob knows. Everybody get around it. Everybody get around it and like and subscribe. Anyway, I'm going to play The World You Gave Us, which I need to find. Streaming your own music from Spotify and live streaming it. It's the only way to go. Okay, let's do it. absolutely murdered that bridge. What did I do? It should have been this.
The world should change us. Now there's no reason to pretend. Was it worth the price you pay to let you have your way? Sacrifice your peace of mind just to have your say. To let you have your way. Sacrifice your peace of mind just to have your say.
Something like that. The solo live, actually, I get to... Instead of doing that like Paul Gilbert, I go... which is a lot easier to play and kind of tasty, and it gets me to the... gets me back to the chord, which is all important there. When I'm doing this, I can play the lick as it is on the album. Do I have a backup rig for live use? I do. I was actually having this moment during the week where I was looking at all the backup rigs I've built, and there's like 6 or 7 layers of redundancy, which is pretty mental. But I normally do take a backup. I have 2 FM3s, so it's exactly the same as the main rig. I take one in a road case, a flight case that's always ready to go. And for fly gigs, I just take the main thing. But we've got local shows. I'll put the other one just in a small bag that I won't leave behind at venues. Normally a backpack, and that one's just got it's got exactly the same presets loaded in it. So if anything does happen, I can just pop it in and out, which is kind of nice. Any tips on building a Grissom patch on the Fractal to go with the DGT? My first concert ever was David with Storyville opening for BB King. That's a sick lineup. You know what? As much as I love the Grissom guitars, I haven't listened to that much of his playing outside of him just demoing PRS stuff. That's sort of, something I should check out more. I'd love to see him live. I know a lot of people say, you just have to go and see him live. But, I don't even know what he uses in his rig. I imagine I would immediately go for a Boogie Lone Star or something. So, that'd be interesting. I mean, he's one of those guys where he does so much from the guitar, and Dave always sounds like Dave. So I'm sure if you get into working the guitar volume and tone controls on the DGT, you can probably do it with just about anything. So good question. GRB Aquatics recently ordered another Artist Guitars guitar, the LP59. Ooh. Keen to hear your thoughts when you get that, mate. Those look really, really good. I don't know if you already have, but do you have Guitar Pro tabs for the Ragdoll stuff? I do. There's not the entire kind of rep, but there's... Let me actually double check how many... This is definitely a project to properly finish in the new year, because I've done a couple of them. What do we have? Transcriptions. 1, 2, 3, 4... 5. I think I've done about 6 songs, so that's pretty pathetic. I've probably tabbed about a quarter of the back catalogue. So a collab with Sheet Happens. That'd be interesting. I have no idea how the Sheet Happens thing works. Maybe I should just hit them up and be like, hey, what's the deal? So I'd be down for that. Definitely be down for doing that if it means people can get the tab and do that, but the ones that I have transcribed are available for patrons, so you can, if you sign up to the Patreon, you can get access to that folder, and I should do a few more. The thing that I kind of struggle with is not so much transcribing my own solos, but actually playing my own solos the same way every time. Something like The World You Gave Us is pretty straightforward, but actually that's the next one I'm going to do. I'm going to do that one. That's going to be my next project. Do that. It'd be nice to have all the stuff tabbed, though, so excellent suggestion. I feel like I must compensate you somehow for all the licks. Mate, this is the way it works, You just make them your own. They're not stolen, they're yours now, And they're not mine either, because I probably stole them from somebody else. So this is a good one. 400 billion suns. I am using... Let's get right in there. These ones. I've been using these for a few years now. Probably the longest I've used a pick. This is... Tortex 1.35. I bought a bunch in bulk a little while ago, and it does the thing. So, I like them because I don't drop them as much. This is a good compromise between the so-called tone of the pick and then the slipperiness. I'm not so into slippery picks. I like the pick staying where it is. So, those or the green. What are they? 0.88. I like those for playing rhythm guitar and for playing acoustic guitar as well. So, yeah. Yeah, the Tortex Jazz 3s, man, they're great. What are they? 1.35? Yeah, you can experiment with them. I've got a bunch of different thicknesses for them, but these are... Can't even remember how I got onto them, but I've been using them for ages. So, hey, and Earl is all across it, you know. Like and subscribe, kids. I'm going to put that there. Let's check out some of... there we go. There's some gruesome knowledge being shared. So there's a Bad Cat model in the axe, which is cool. Let's take a look at the new Mark V models, shall we? Here's one I prepared earlier. So they've done... There's the clean channel on there, and the editor hasn't been updated, so keep that in mind. Basically, what do we have? Mark V... So there's the Mark V Mark IV mode, there's the Mark V Extreme mode, and there's the Mark V Mark II C Plus mode on there. So, yeah, let's give them a quick bash. I'm just going to turn my mic off so you don't hear string noise when we do all of this. We'll start with the Mark IV mode. Tried and tested Mark IV lead, mid-gain, bright or non-bright, whatever one you want to use, but I really like the way this sounds, and I use it in all my live presets, and it's pretty dialed in, so I don't think I'll change anything because of that. But I believe the Mark V Mark IV model is modeled as though you had the presence shift and the fat switch of the Mark IV on. So if I put the presence shift on, generally have to turn the presence up a bit on this, and then the fat switch, they should sound pretty similar. It's really interesting going back and forth from that. Like, once you hear a really bright sound and your ears get accustomed to it, and you go back to what you had previously, you're like, oh my god, my guitar sounds so dull. But I've never had that I've never had that issue live. It's always pretty darn bright on there. Do you ever get around to testing the high watt models? I did, yeah. I've got I want to do something with those coming up and compare it to that Crazy Tube Circuits high watt pedal, which I think sounds really good. I wish Dunlop would make their big stubby picks in Tortex and Ultex. I begged and pleaded. Interesting. Yeah, big stubby in this material would be interesting. They were the first. That was the first pick. That's how I learnt to play guitar, with a big stubby, which is pretty interesting. So, yeah, there you go. Mike Salopek is here, and he's made it for So Mark series love, exactly. So the Mark V models are really, really cool. I mean, there's so many different variations on this, right? It's like, think of a Mark IV. The real Mark IV has the lead channel, and then the Mark V has a Mark IV mode, and the extreme mode, which is based on, I think, the Mark IV with the presence pushed, which is how I like it. Then the Mark VII has a Mark IV mode. And the Triaxis has lead 2 green, which is a Mark IV. So, yeah, it's pretty funny. And there's the JP2C Plus and the 2C Plus, and they're all they have more in common than they have differences, I feel. But yeah, I've been digging the sizzly stuff you can get out of the extreme mode. Like, it's definitely got a little recto about it. You turn the master down. It's got that chewy recto thing in there, which is pretty cool. So that's probably I find that the most interesting. The others sound really, really good, and the JP2C ones sound great. Fairly certain the tone stack in there is like the fat tone stack, so you got the fat switch in, which I like for leads, and I like having off for non-leads on there, which is why, if we go back to my live preset, you can see the trick in here is that when I go to... Now there's gapless switching on here. I used to do this with a control switch on the fat. When I go to my lead sound, you can see, there's a boost and there's the fat switch on. If I just have the fat switch on, you go from... So that's pretty cool. Like, it just, it does what it says on the tin. It makes everything sound fat, which is cool. I really like that, and I like being able to have the boost on as well, so that when I go from my rhythm sound to my lead sound, I'll give you an example. I'll mute my mic. And that's using the little feedback trick on the synth block there. So triangle wave, and I use a control switch to swell it in and out, which is pretty cool. It sounds pretty natural if you want the Digitech freak out thing. So yeah, I love having the super smooth fat thing for leads and the more kind of scooped crispy thing for playing rhythms. That's just how I like it. The faster I have to pick, the harder I want the pick to be. Floppier picks can sound better, but sometimes precision is needed. Yeah, let me let me demonstrate right there. Where do I have a floppy pick? These are a rarity in this household. Here we go. So what's this? This is there's a 0.73, and one of the flows. Shout out to my buddy Fred, who's almost definitely not watching this. He's probably asleep because he's in the UK. But you want to play funk, right? You need the... Like, that sounds considerably different to... Like, stiff pick, not so stiff pick. This is playing acoustically as well. It's sort of like you just get that spank out of it. I feel about 0.7 is the lightest I would go. I can still probably do some stupid lead stuff with this. versus... I mean, I think Ingve uses maybe he uses 1.5s. I was going to say he might be the counterexample there, but if I'm doing a gig where I know I don't have to do stupid rock guitar licks, a thin pick can be really nice. Yeah, and, you know, what does Paul Gilbert use? Like 0.5 millimeter picks now or something like that, so, you know, Paul is always the counterexample. What do you think about placing effects between amp and cab blocks to split to output two post effects to go to a power amp? When I was gigging with a Matrix and a cab, I used to do that all the time. I just make your cab block stereo, and it should, unless, okay, so here in this example, you can see I've got a multi-band after the cab. There's a dynamic effect that might change things a little bit in there, but like placing the cab after all this stuff, you know, there's no distortion happening in any of these blocks. So if you place a stereo cab at the end of the chain, you should be pretty sweet. The Petrucci Trinity pick. Yeah, I've tried one of those before. You know, I think once I started playing these, and I've been playing Jazz 3s for a long time, and I used to buy normal Jazz 3s and like scuff them up so they were grippier. I remember driving across like New Mexico or something on tour, and I was just in the back of the car. I wasn't driving, someone else was driving. I was just sitting there like scratching. I bought a big box of picks and I was just like scratching them and scuffing them. And after a while, you know, it was probably Cam driving. He's like, "What are you doing back there?" And I'm just making it so I don't drop my picks. You know what I mean? Yeah. And exactly, the cult of the Jazz 3. I tried I've got some of the Dunlop flows. Someone got me some for my birthday. And they're pretty cool. Like, it's all pretty cool. I don't think it makes that big of a difference in the grand scheme of things. But once you find the pick you prefer, you'll know. You know what I mean? It's like, I would just say, just make a choice and roll with it for a while. And then if you get curious, maybe try one or two other things. But, you know, I think anything can work. And you can work around most of it. I've got some of those Wegan, like 5mm bone picks that I played with for a while, which again are pretty cool. You know what? We're talking about picks. I'm going to get this is it. This is happening. Where is it? I've got a box. Here it is. Awesome. Let me just move a few things so I can get this out. Hey, how do I like this? Alright. There's a lot of stuff going back and forth. Alright. We got the box of picks. What do we have in here? Here we go. I was just talking about these, so check this beast out. Oh, this is a Wegan, like, triangle bone pick. They got this indentation here. They're really, really smoothed. I'm gonna do this not plugged in. That's cool. Definitely sounds smoother. Wow, listen to that. Gang, gang, gang versus... I mean, you can do all the... This is weird, man. Listen to that. It's pretty chirpy. So there's that one. We got these ragdoll glow-in-the-dark picks made. If you order a CD, you might get one of these with your CD. These are 1mm. That sounds totally fine. Grippy Jazz 3. There we go, that's one of the scuffed up ones. I'm curious. Now it's gone. I mean, look, there's stuff in here that I can hear because I have spent so much time just going. I mean, these sound different to me. Yeah, listen to the Tortex, it's like scooped and zippy versus bone. Really smooth. That's cool. Here is what is this? A point? Can I read? 0.45. Check that out. It's like playing with a piece of paper. Oh my god. Versus. Man, the bone one that's like comical. Absolutely comically fat versus this paper thin 0.4. That's too thin. Can I play lead guitar with this? Yes, I think I can. But why would you when it's so much easier to use a thick pick? That's so funny. Aaron Chrissy, thank you so much for the super chat as well, mate. I'm very, very glad you've been enjoying this. This is a really fun little deep dive. Okay, these green, fat Dunlop picks. This is what I've recorded every Ragdoll song with playing rhythm guitar. We just like the way it sounds. Let me mute my mic and we'll hear the difference between the Jazz 3 that I use and the green one. Let's try this. It's interesting, this green one, you can get that real cat, cat, cat kind of sound out of it that you can't with the others. What else do we have in this box of wonders? Here's a Petrucci pick. Whatever one this is. Yeah, I think that's the super tri-tip thing. This sounds pretty cool. Let's have a listen. That one actually sounds really good. I quite like that. I'm not so into the way it feels. What else do I have? I feel like I have some weird stuff in here. That's an interesting synthetic material. I don't know where that came from. Got some ragdoll picks. I've definitely got a metal pick in here somewhere that sounds absolutely terrible. There it is. Yeah. I like the idea of this, but man, this is pretty darn harsh. Let's hear it. Interesting. The metal on metal feeling is nails on a chalkboard when I'm playing it. That's not very enjoyable. What else? Oh, remember the little Ultex Jazz 3s? Do I have a black Jazz 3 in here as well? Hey, I do. Look at this, a Jazz 3 comparison live on the internet. What's this? So this is an Ultex Jazz 3. Let's hear, this is my favorite one. We'll hear that one second and then the Ultex. Much prefer the way this one sounds. Let's go black Jazz 3 now. Versus black Jazz 3 versus, I'm doing pick roulette here, versus the white Tortex one. I think the black one sounds different. It's a little more like strident and tight sounding than, like, the red and the white one sound really similar. I'm happy about that. The black one sounds pretty cool. I know someone said they preferred the sound of the black one. I can see why. That's really, really interesting. First tour we did as well, we had these Ragdoll 2mm Jazz 3 knockoffs made. I want to know what they sound like. Oh, they actually sound really good. I'm really happy with that. I should order some more of these. They were awesome. We ordered them to give them away and then realized not many people like Jazz 3s. And we got little purple ones as well. Got to hear the purple now. Man, this is so nerdy. There's such a lower mid thing with these white ones on there that I kind of like. What else do I have? I think that's kind of the extent of the weird pick collection in there. So yeah, I like Jazz 3s. That's a big Jazz 3 style thing. That's a Blue Man Group pick. That's a great show if you've never seen it, by the way. So yeah, there we go. A deep dive with picks. Thank you to everybody for suggesting this. Let me put these away before I get even more caught up in the madness of pick selection. All right, there's that. I really should order some more picks and put the Ragdoll logo on them. That would be cool. And then people could get them when they order something. So, and Vince, thank you, mate. Keep doing what you're doing. Hope you do something special for 100K. Let me know what you would suggest. I would like to do some giveaways, so I might hit some people up and see if I can convince a few people who have featured stuff on the channel for a while. Maybe we'll do like a big giveaway or something like that. That would be a really cool way to do that. Purple is the color of royalty. Samuel L. Jackson. Exactly. What was it in the Mediterranean? There's those snails that they get the purple dye out of, and it takes an immense amount of stuff. So, you know, that's why the Roman emperors wore purple, because purple was so hard to get. A pick giveaway. There you go. What an excellent idea. Does heavy distortion have any impact on picking dynamics? You definitely have to pick a certain way, I believe. You know, if you want that sound. And I actually had someone message me a couple of weeks ago. I did a demo video with the axe, and they were like, "Oh, I can't get my guitar to sound like yours." And, you know, I'm fairly certain we're picking with a similar intensity and, you know, using a super strat and this kind of thing. And it was really interesting because they sent me a DI, and I was like, just look at the difference in the DI waveforms. And like my DIs were just like 6 dB louder just from the way I play. So yeah, that's a big factor in the type of pick and the setup and the pickups. It all matters. So the Murex snail, there you go. An excellent little piece of, I mean, it's kind of like, think about, if it seems weird that like a snail and dyeing it and royalty having that is a weird thing, think of 59 Les Pauls. They're just pieces of wood, right, with some electronics and metal mounted on them, but they're prestige items, and not many of them were made. And now it's kind of like only, you know, the elite 1% of guitar players can actually afford to buy them and play them. And, you know, Joe Bonamassa, Emperor Joe, probably has the largest collection of them or something like that. So yeah, if it's no weirder to me the way we obsess over this stuff. And Mike Salopek, love the rarer rosin ones myself. Interesting. Rosin's a composite, hey. Is it a plastic or is it some other thing? It's an ingredient in printing inks, photocopying, laser printing paper. Interesting. Oh man, material science is so interesting, isn't it? What's the... Surely there's like a chemical formula for it. A component of rosin. This is interesting. Players of bowed string instruments rub cakes or blocks of rosin on their bow hair. That's where I know about rosin. Really interesting. That's cool. That's super cool. And someone mentioned they make glass picks in here. William De Silva makes glass picks. That's really, really cool. William, feel free to let people know the name of your company in the comments if anyone wants to go and buy them. I like this one. Stainless steel picks will turn round wounds into flat wounds. Yep, definitely. What's a good rule of thumb for master volume, input volume, and volume on Matrix GT with the Axe 3? I remember the old advice was like, put the master on the Matrix at 1 o'clock, turn the output volume on the Axe up until the Matrix starts getting that purple light coming on, and then go from there with moving the Matrix up and down. I used to just set the master volume on the Matrix all the way up and then turn it up or down. I don't know how much of a difference it makes, but you can do this and try those different methods on there. So It's an interesting one. Have I checked out Sire guitars? I have checked them out. I haven't actually played one. I was they do the Larry Carlton Strat style thing, right? I was actually looking at them earlier in the week because somebody mentioned them. So yeah, if you're using one, I'd be really, really curious to know what's going on with those. TFT 5150 spent some money on stone picks. They were too slippery. It's one of these things, isn't it? It's the like guitar picks are they're like the health supplement of the guitar playing world. Like, hey, just take this, rare snail's penis tablet, and you'll perform better. Just use the 1.29 millimeter Tortex pick instead of the 1.35, and you'll get 3% extra alternate picking speed. Yeah, and I mean, will you? Probably. Like, it might make a difference if guitar players were robots which could control everything. But we're not, and the way the pick feels and the texture and all sorts of stuff, it's like a tactile experience, right? So you could probably just practice more and get that performance rather than have to take, the snail's penis supplement or whatever it is. So the secret is Vegemite. Yeah, man, you got to have some Vegemite. You got to have a little bit every week. It's good. It's really, really good. 400 billion suns. I'm up for some placebo effect as long as it works. Yes, exactly. I'm totally with you, man. Like, we're not totally rational animals, are we? There's always something like that going on. If it helps make you feel better and practice better, exactly. And thank you very much to Halo Hat for the super chat as well, mate. Ask me a question. I want to answer the super chat questions on here, and we've gone deep with the picks in there. And thank you to everybody who's submitted a super as well. What was I going to say? Of course, the true hack in life is to just not pick. So if you're playing a just don't pick, bro. That's the true pro way to do everything, right? Is just play lots of legato. There it is. Where are we at in the comments? This has been a really, really fun. Others have tried the snail effect too. Exactly. Super generous with the live chats. I thought you can get the supplement from Bunnings last I checked. Exactly, mate. If Bunnings don't sell it, why bother, basically? It'd be really interesting. It'd be interesting trying to make, speaking of Bunnings, how they sell all those composites. It'd be interesting trying to make some picks or guitar bits out of some of that stuff. 3D printing's a thing as well at the moment, so this is my favorite comment of the day. Does expired sour cream go good? I've never thought about that, so there you go. Well, let me know in the comments, what does everybody think about that? Got a 5-year-old jar of it, and I'm afraid. Yeah, it's probably fine, mate. Snails are very, very hardy creatures. Back in the 80s, there was a pick with a rounded needle point, supposedly faster because there was no flat surface contacting the string. Yeah, remember that jellyfish pick as well that was being flogged in guitar mags for a while? That's another thing. The Dazatronic AC128 just hit the States. Awesome, man. Like, Daz does really, really good work. I really hope you like that pedal. Yeah, he's a bit of a local legend. Just do it the Richie Kotzen way. Exactly. Just throw the pick away and, I like playing with my fingers, actually. It's quite a... doing the hybrid thing, obviously. I should catch up on some questions rather than just kind of noodle around. 5 billion suns, thank you. That's awesome. Got to run. Thanks for the pick tips. Hope everyone has a great day and night. You're a legend, mate. Thank you very, very much. I appreciate that a lot. The stylus pick. There you go. That's what we were talking about. Ian's got us there. There we go. Between Leon Cooper and Roche, I'm learning all I need when I can afford an FM9. Thank you very much, mate. It's very, very generous. Those two are very, very scary, terrifying players as well. They're great dudes. So this is one of those, like, there's a very nice community of people around this stuff, isn't there? We'll love to see you do a studio video. Rick Beato did one a while ago. I have one coming up. I've been moving some things around in here and changing stuff up, so it's definitely due for an overhaul. Actually, I've got a company to sponsor the video as well, so totally selling out over here, but it's totally unrelated to the studio. So yeah, there'll probably be a little bit more of that stuff coming on the channel in the new year. And GRB, thumb and forefinger for picking for so long, not sure I could use a pick anymore. Yeah, I had a friend like that in high school who played classical guitar, and he would just pretend he had a pick when he didn't. So works really, really well, and he'd play all these Megadeth songs, and I was like, how are you doing that? Do you set your modeler presets differently for live versus recording? Yes. Recording, I'll turn all the high cuts and low cuts off, and then just, if I need to filter stuff in post, I'll do it. But live, like 80 hertz low cut, like 5K high cut's been pretty cool. How do you make a handkerchief dance? Put a Mesa Boogie in. That's excellent. There's a question that I missed over here that I did want to bring up. Where is it? With all the modeling pedals flooding the market at the moment, what unit remains your go-to for tone? The Axe. That's the one. There's so much for like the sound and for the flexibility as well. I love the way it sounds, but like, look at this giant grid. You can do things like this on it, which I think is pretty unprecedented. Unprecedented. Split your signal 6 ways. Like, that's such a fun thing, It's instant royal blood right there. Is Randall planning a US date? So we've been talking about, I don't know if we'll be able to get over in the next year, but man, I cannot wait to come back. I'm hoping to come back regardless for some family stuff anyways. So I miss it, man. I'm big time miss it. Last time it was 2019, which feels like 300 years ago. Lars Ulrich. Man, Lars has got some underrated bangers. I do enjoy some Lars from time to time. Will we get a 12 Days of Christmas Gift of Tone from others this year as well? I'm actually not too sure. I know they've been doing a few sort of like encore editions. I don't think it'll be like a full Gift of Tone thing, but that's pretty cool. Can you get an EBO and play Heroes? I mean, are you allowed to play anything else with an EBO except for that song? So that is a sound. How thick can you make it? The other John Brown. How are you, mate? I hope you're cool. Did a Pete Thorne Sunday Gathering on YouTube. Great community of guitar players. Pete is a bloody class act. I love Pete. He's still the standard bearer after all these years on YouTube, and a hell of a player as well. Pretty amazing. Give me 1 sec, because I might have to finish this up and meet someone who wants to come and grab some stuff. Here we go. What's the time here? Okay, cool. I'm actually going to run in a second. I'll play one more song for all of you. But if you wanted to thicken this thing up, I mean, you can just keep adding more low octaves on it, right? And get nastier with all the fuzz things in here, like, you know, do some of this, give me more sustain from the big muff. There we go. Turn the sub up. And you can also do, I've got some of Simeon's synth presets in here, which are ridiculous. Give me 1 second. Trying to do double duty over here. Let's take a look. Alright. Okay, cool. I'm just sorting out what I'm doing after this. Everybody be patient. There we go. So yeah, you can do some crazy stuff like that. Where are these ridiculous synth presets that I can show you? Here we go. Check this out. So yeah, that's kind of why I like the axe. You can do some ridiculous stuff on there. Some ridiculous there. Simulation confirmed. From Tom Sawyer to Legend of Zelda vibes. Yes, exactly. I have not tried the Source Audio C4. I really want to do. They do some amazing stuff, man. So amazing. Let's take a look. Phil Keaggy is a huge influence. Phil Keaggy's amazing. He used to live down the street. We go see him back in his electric playing days. Magical. That's really, really cool. Really, really cool. What is going on in here? Who's... Billy Howardell. My God. How are you, mate? Nice to chat to you again. And I hope all is well. And I gotta ask... Yeah, when's APC coming down? Not soon enough. I totally agree. Well, you know, if you want a piece of Vegemite on toast and a nice cup of espresso, you know where to come, mate. So that's too cool. Too cool. You know what I was actually thinking about? I was thinking about the... if you're still in the chat, Billy, the Friedman Naked. That was... Like, what can you tell me about the Friedman Naked? Because I was trying to cop some of the sounds in the axe. And I'm playing around with the... Because I know Michael Nielsen did a video, and I'm fairly certain that was either your amp or you used that. And, like, what's different between that and, like, a small box or a BE? If you know these things and you're willing to share this, and it's totally fine as well, of course, if they're trade secrets. Yeah, and talked about reworking it a little bit. That's super cool. That'd be a great one for them to add to the lineup, because I know one of my friends just had his 77 JMP kind of return to stock, but then he's got the J.K. Lee mod on a Switch, and that sounds amazing. Amazing. TJ Anderson, I became a tech because I kept blowing up stomp boxes, learned how to fix and build them. Unfortunately, spent a lot more time doing that than actually playing. Yeah, man, I've certainly pulled apart and ruined a bunch of guitars. I think I had that realization about 10 years ago. It's like, yeah, I'm okay at fixing them and putting them back together again, but maybe if I just spend a bit more time. actually playing them. I wouldn't want to fix them so much. Is the DGT SE your 2023 Guitar of the Year? You'll have to tune in over the next day or two when I do the Gear of the Year gear podcast. But, like, spoiler, yes. I think for a value proposition, it's pretty hard to beat, in my opinion. So, yeah, it's an amazing piece of gear. Alrighty, hang on, what do we have here? I'm not a guitar player, but is this just a software mod, or do you need additional hardware to get those effects? All the software is doing is mirroring what is in the hardware, so it's purely a software, it's a way of controlling the hardware. So everything you're actually hearing is coming from the hardware straight into the stream, which is cool, and the software is merely controlling it. So yeah, all right, I'm going to play you all Rust. Thank you to everybody for tuning in. And it's the holiday season. I don't have a lot on, so there's going to be some more live streams before and after Christmas when we get going. And yeah, thank you all so much. Thanks for all the super chats. Thanks for everybody who shared some information in here. I always enjoy it. And I'll play you all Rust. And if I don't see any of you before Christmas, have a great Christmas and stay safe and be good to one another. And let's tee this one up before I do that. Here we go. I'm going to let the song do the intro and then mute my mic. So take it easy.